What do you want?
Madam Pele
Let's
did
see.
give us a show, didn't she?
When does she not?
Does she not?
She's definitely good for a show. Definitely.
you say she's like,
yeah, and
do your.
good.
She's like, you do your show and then I will start my show. She's like,
Yes,
let's not overshadow each other.
She sort of says that, you know, I'm the one that writes the contract and determines the terms and enforces them.
You're not allowed to do that. And I'm not going to explain. You know what you did. This is
but yeah.
so rude. Goodness.
Why you gotta be
Yeah, well-
so rude?
Yeah,
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
don't bully me.
Wait,
I'm just thinking,
who
we
can
are
bully you?
so close.
People bully me all the time. What are you talking about? I am bullied constantly. I am bullied nearly 24/7. Like 95% of the time.
Oh,
Almost there. Almost there. Almost there.
That's what she said.
almost. Oh god.
Okay, so
Okay.
never mind.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Paperwork.
That's what I thought. Bureaucracy defeated again by bureaucracy. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Debate Hub. Look, hi, look, we got a button.
Wow. Ooh.
An extra special thanks to Bent for making that little stinger for us. That
Nice.
stinger
Yes,
is
thank you, Bent.
sexy. All right, welcome back. It's October. Maanya's with us this time. She made it.
Yay!
I made it. Barely made it. Yeah, it was
Barely.
like an hour before. An hour before the stream, I'm just like, Chesh, for your information, I'm just in a lot of pain, so just don't mind me.
Yeah. Well, you know, as you do.
I've got neck pain. I don't know why. 3 days. It's been killing me. I thought it would go away. It's better today, but I think so. It's me. For 3 days continuously, I was just done. I was just.
Well,
so
you've
done.
been pretty busy at work.
Oh, yeah.
I've been getting into trouble on the internet as per usual. Landon, what have you been up to?
I've been up to doing some coding and nice. Actually, there's been some applications that I've had around since about 1991 that I'm getting around to actually releasing
1991?
publicly.
Ooh.
Well, I'm sorry. I mean, because it took me about 15 years to write it, so that's why it only came out in 91.
Oh,
15 years
that's
is a
so
long
cool.
time. It's gonna be Skynet.
Yeah.
All right.
But anyway,
Invalid.
it is definitely there. And but anyway, so I'm doing some coding and also just enjoying the change of
So-
weather. How about yourselves?
How do you compile and debug that amount of coding? Gotta have some really good processes at your hand.
Well, one of the things in particular is to have a discipline and write what I call literate code. So I write code that 20 years later you can throw up a file, jump in the middle of it, and I'll start to explain what's going on. Right? You want to write code that's not. No, I'm serious. Right? That's the
No.
thing.
I'm saying, god dang. I'm impressed. God dang. That's what I'm saying. I'm just like, dang.
And it's ironic because one of the founders of the International Obfuscated C Code Contest, people think I write crappy code. No,
Landon
I run a
writes
contest where
code.
other people.
Landon writes code at the rate that George R. Martin
Why did I
writes
do
books.
that? I don't know why.
Yes, except I finished my code too. Unlike some authors.
Hey,
and,
Lomel.
But also taking pride in your work. That's another thing. You want to be able to
Caring
That's what I
about the
tell
thing you're
people.
doing?
Yeah, like
That's what I
I
tell
actually
people
want
at
my
work.
code to
Try
work.
hard.
I know that's a radical concept to some.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Putting
I
out a
don't-
product
I-
that is functional when it comes out? No.
No.
Can't have that.
That's the same thing, Landon. I say to my to people at work, right? There are people sometimes who are like they're just done with their day and everything. I'm like, listen, nobody's telling you if you can't make the deadline, you can't make the deadline, right? Like, just recheck all the other work that you have done. Are you satisfied that this is what you would have wanted to present? If that's you, well, then yeah, that's it. On your merry way. Just think. Are you going to be proud
I have a
of what
whole
you're gonna
different.
present?
I have a whole different philosophy. My philosophy is if it's worth doing, it's worth half-assing.
And I
Interesting.
know that there is the I'm sort of the opposite of move fast and break things. That philosophy, I believe,
Oh, that's bad.
sucks giant.
Yeah.
boulders.
Yeah, that's called cutting before you even tried measuring.
Yeah.
It's called
also,
treating your customers as alpha testers, and
Yeah.
this is a sad thing in the game industry where the
Mm.
mini games do not give a damn about you. They just want your money.
Alex is pointing that out in chat and saying, "Here at Electronic Arts, we humbly say, fuck your quality of life."
Well, with
But seriously, taking pride in
also,
so in my code, I also
is a
give
bit-
yes, and I give my contact information so people can connect me. So if there's a problem, I will know about it and address it. Because again, nothing's perfect, but that you can't prevent. You try to mitigate that. You can mitigate it, detect. So I take pride in good code and
yeah, that's
networking.
that's fine.
So
It's
so that's
yeah,
So what's going on with the
that's it.
volcano?
Yeah,
Well,
we were gonna
should
talk about the
we-
volcano.
Oh yeah, this is actually this is our volcano show.
Rum and Coke night coming back when?
and in
Right,
honor of
when?
in honor of that, I am going to be drinking this particular Icelandic liqueur. It's some people it's an acquired taste.
40% alcohol.
But it's a really nice has yes,
A
it
label?
is really nice
Label, yeah, whatever. I'm in
this
pain.
Icelandic there it is right there.
You guys want me to make that bigger for you guys? Hold on, I can do something about this for you. Here.
Shake well.
Wow.
Shake it off.
Look at that. Fancy.
There you go.
Nice.
Opal.
There, and the front is this.
So what's it supposed to
Right.
taste like?
Well, it
It's liqueur, right? So
it is acquired taste, but I'm one of those odd Yanks. Like for example, the very first time I was given Vegemite by some Aussies, I loved it. I thought it was amazing. So,
but
I
are
would
you
say
pro
that
cilantro?
I don't have the gene that makes cilantro taste like soap, thankfully. But yeah, so I would say it has, like unsweetened molasses is kind of a taste.
Oh.
Certainly high alcohol. It has a lot of herbaceous stuff, so it has a little bit of that. I wouldn't call it Vegemite, but that's sort of like a little bit of herbaceous note
That
to it.
tang.
But it also has that.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it has that not the syrupy sweet molasses, but a
Yeah.
more of a rich molasses thing. And so I will say to Madam Pele and to those out there, cheers.
I would also like to point out while he sips that we here at Debate Hub are pro washing your damn hands, you disgusting apes. Wash your damn hands.
I know who
You're
you're
disgusting.
And wash your hands
talking
after you go to the bathroom,
Talking about everybody.
Yes, please.
even
You're
if
all
no one
gross.
is watching.
Humans are
Right.
gross.
Remember, you
Yes,
will
that-
eat a pizza with that hand. So yeah, a slice of pizza.
Yeah.
Later. So.
And as
So-
my doctor also says, if you really care about yourself, you wash your hands before you go to the bathroom too, because
We have a
you
song.
like-
It's called
you
So-
Ole. Oh,
that
You've got a song they call
I hear
Ole
there's a
Ole.
Yeah.
bar soap. I am a bar soap person.
Bar soap, man. I like bar soap. I
Yeah.
prefer bar
I
soap.
used
Bar
to
soap's
be
best.
a body wash person, but then I went back to using bar soaps, and I realized body wash are a scam.
Body wash sucks. Bar soap is good, but make sure you buy good bar soap, not shitty bar soap.
Yes.
Because there is shitty bar soap.
Yes.
That'll just
And
dry
I
your skin
have-
out like crazy. Like Irish
I have-
Springs.
I have an unbroken chain of bar soaps going back to 1983.
What does that
What do you
mean?
mean? Well, when you're using a bar soap and you're getting down to that point where it's
Yeah.
like hard to hold,
Yeah.
you get another bar soap and you put the first one onto the second one, right? You sort of use you
Until
get a new
it's
bar
another
soap,
one, so you just have layers of soap that are like
merges,
geological
right?
layers of soap.
It merges, right? So because when you got to the point where it's going to be whether it's there or not, you get a new bar of soap, you use it, and because now it has that lather on it, you basically take the old bar of soap and put it on top,
And another one, and another one, and another one.
and it glues together, and so you have this chain of
I
soap bar.
see.
So you're gonna send me a picture of this at some point, right?
Oh yes, now of course understand that
need to
when
see
you put
this.
that thin layer on top of the other bar, you're not getting a strata like a geologic volcanic thing.
Right.
It'll eat through, but the thought that counts, right? And
It's the thought, yeah, it's the effort.
This came from my parents who survived the Great Depression. That says you don't waste stuff. That was when things
Right,
were,
it's a way to keep the soap using it so you actually use the whole thing instead of so you don't lose it down the drain when it eventually crumbles apart and you end up losing like a solid chunk.
So when I left the Silicon Valley, moved to the Pacific Northwest, one of the things I did was put my bar of soap in a bag and kept it because I knew that someone would sit there and say, "Oh, they just toss it away," right? And it's like, no, you keep the chain going.
Soap at the soup store. What's that volcano doing?
Okay, let's.
Oh,
Yes, that's right. This is a volcano show.
Oh yeah, why are we here?
Why are we here?
So
Why
let me.
So all this is telling me is we need to do a rum and coke night because we haven't done one in like a year, and we need to do one clearly.
We need to talk.
Yes,
we need to
Jess,
get
please.
out of our systems and talk trash. Yeah.
Landon's gonna
Please.
get in my
Tomorrow.
ear. Yes, Josh, please.
Please.
All right. Yeah, bend my rubber arm. Okay.
So
going
hi
on here?
folks in the.
I go away for one day.
Maanya's tired. She
Feels
can't
like
keep us
years.
roped in right now.
Okay, so
You like years.
and for those that are new, we actually do discuss volcanoes. And for those that
We do.
have not come across saying, "Who, what in the world is evil?" Volcanoes are a very natural, common occurrence. We live on a very wiggly, wobbly, volcanic planet. Although Io, the dwarf planet Io, has more volcanoes. But our planet is very volcanic, right?
Losing my mind.
What happened? What
I
did you do?
was gonna message Dapper to tell him we were thinking about doing a rum and coke night, and I was like, "Where is he in my DMs? I'm not seeing him." And the answer was, I was already on him.
Hi, Dapper. So
Dapper.
so check out this. So anyway, so there's lots of volcanoes right now.
Lots of volcanoes, yes.
It depends upon what you mean by erupting. Whether it's got active lava coming out or gases coming out or smoldering, but there's about 45 as of mid-September. I think the number is actually closer to 48. We've had 58 volcanic eruptions this calendar year. Last year we had 65. So pretty common occurrence. And of course, where are they? Well, here's the usual last of characters. So Italy's Mount Stromboli, which is in continuous eruption, actually had a pretty spectacular set of eruptions. It's a really nice pyroclastic flows. Etna, of course, is kind of in continuous eruption, but Stromboli was most active. Iceland right now, even though I have this wonderful Icelandic, only has 4 volcanoes that are in unrest. They're not actually erupting. Africa, of course, has as usual. There's the area up in northern Ethiopia where the continent's splitting in two. There's 2 in DR Congo, and of course the Indonesia, which is usually the most afraid. It has 8 active erupting volcanoes. It's actually been, if you look on YouTube, there's been some spectacular ships going by watching these do their things. So pretty good. Nothing in North America or the Aleutians, but in Central America we have the one that's in Mexico that's always started going. The couple in Guatemala, one in Nicaragua, and there's a new house in Costa Rica that's started. So they're up to Central America has been going up to 5. In South America, we have the 2 from Ecuador that are there. The one in Peru. There's also this one, which is on the Chile and Argentina border, which is quite nice. So if you take the airplane from Santiago, Chile, down to Punta Arenas in the Magellan Straits, you'll go by and get a really good view of it. Just be sure you're on the correct side. Other areas of the Sandwich Islands has something. Mount Erebus in Antarctica is always erupting. Kilauea is considered erupting, but we also have in Pacific Ocean, Papua New Guinea has actually 2. And of course, Solomon Islands. There's a Tonga Islands. You know, remember that was the site of a fairly famous sub-oceanic eruption on Tonga and Vanuatu. So in the area of the Pacific Ring of Fire, so we actually have 5 in Kamchatka in Russia right now. Sort of like number 2 of countries there. But also there's the Kuril Islands that depending on who you believe is Russian or not. Japan has 2. Actually, Japan has no. I'm sorry. Japan has, look at that, has 4.
Wow.
So Japan's coming up there, and
that's a lot for a pretty small space.
Yeah. Well, Japan is a very wiggly place as well.
I love the word wiggly. For a volcano, like wiggly.
I know that people, you know, that earthquakes
wibbly wobbly
are
inflatable tube, dude,
which can be quite dangerous. But if you are also safe, you can minimize your earthquake damage. And if you get caught in an earthquake, my advice is pay attention. Right? That's the thing. Don't run out. Just pay attention, because you might as well, because you can't do much anyway. When if you've been in a really strong earthquake, not just a wiggle, you can't move anyway. So you might as well pay attention. And I'll tell you, if you ever hear that Landon went out in an earthquake, no, I paid a good deal of attention.
He was already out.
So anyway, that's the volcano. So what about? I would mention, by the way, that in there was a very interesting article about rebuilding.
I don't have my glasses on, and I was immediately like, "Is that just a bunch of testicles?"
No, this is you're seeing the images of the mountain seen in the caldera, showing how the dome is building up. If I try to zoom in here, we'll see from 1982. Here's 83. You can see how. So here's the dome, and stuff that keeps coming up and going boop 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 boop. More stuff. Most of the growth of the dome. So here's the collapse. This is the place
the
that
growth
collapsed.
of
Here's
the
dome.
It's not a tumor.
Underneath. It's from underneath. It's been pushed underneath, but it does have occasional areas that are beyond it. So Mountain Sunlands going to continue to build, and you can see now that it's getting a big lump in the middle of what used to be. It's not quite to the top, but that's something to check out. So, what about Madam Pele? Well, earlier this morning, I will say this, since there are messages coming out. It is a shame that we are not paying people at the Volcanic Observatory to do their job. There are people there who, on volunteer time, because they're not being paid and they're at risk of being fired, are still care about the mountain and about the people around them, and so they're doing what they can to help monitor the volcanic situation, because people depend upon them. It's part of safety, and part of safety, as Maanyaa will tell you, is understanding your circumstances.
Yep.
So we're nearly at the start. We're getting the precursor of episode 35. One could say that episode 35 is starting, because if you look at this set here, as of yesterday, I had several cases where the lava came to the surface and sort of oozed out. It's these pits, the magma gets to the top, kind of overflows a little bit, sinks back down. So we're getting these up down things that are occurring there. They are anticipating the major fountain to happen within hours. It may actually start happening during the show. We'll check it out. But I would regard this as the beginning of the eruption, right? Lava has come to the surface for brief periods of time, 12, 13, 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 14 minutes, 34 minutes, 13 minutes. So it's just having these bloops coming out. That's a technical term, bloop.
Bloops.
That's
but
the
it's not
technical
yet.
term?
Get out of here, blooper.
Oops.
Yeah, that's a mud popsicle bloop. So this is like one of those things. So they've had rock approximately 100. They've had actually 35 or so of these drain back things. Last thinking about 100 of these, come up, go back down. Right now, if we look at the current set of things, they're talking about the fact again, still not, but episode 35 is any moment now, and we'll see that the
It's
indicators
nigh.
that Chess likes the best. So we've had with previous we've had some stuff where episode 34 had about 6 hours of lava fountains that reached up to 400 meters in height. So that's about 1,300 feet.
I'm muted.
And
Muted.
and
It's one of those days.
so it's had some and again, it was episode 34 was preceded by 120 gas piston events. That's where the magma gets to the surface, loops over a bit, goes back down, up, down before it goes whoosh, right? Currently, we're seeing about 1,200 to 1,500 tons of sulfur dioxide a day come out of vents. So the vents are relatively gassy, and we've had essentially the volume of episode 34, so the previous episode, was 9 million cubic meters. That's about 2.5 billion gallons of lava. That's
How many washing
remember, well, that's about 9 million washing machines over a period of about 6 hours. And so 2.5 billion
6
gallons.
hours.
Remember, there's 8 pints to a gallon. So that's 10,000 megapints.
10,000 gigawatts.
so that's it. So anyway, so we've had some spectacular sets, and so we're really on the cusp. So here's Chesh's favorite graphs.
Yay!
We can see tilt meters, and
Can you?
go ahead.
Can you? Because I've been away for some time. Can you please explain to everyone what a tilt meter is?
So a tilt meter is if you've seen those bubble levels, like that people use to determine whether the table is level or a wall is straight. This is a very accurate bubble level system. It's a device that measures very tiny tilts, and by tilts we're talking about microradians. What is a microradian? You say, well, imagine a bar 1 kilometer long, and you lift it up by 1 millimeter. You take a 1 meter bar and you stick an American dime underneath it, because why do you have an American dime? I don't know. You just do. That's one kilometer bar being lifted 1 millimeter on one end is a 1 microradian tilt. And we see in this graph here that we have swings of around 25 microradians here. This blue line is at the summit.
Microradians.
There's a tilt meter. There's a tilt meter at the summit that's measuring very slight changes of tilt in the ground. Why? Because magma, when it begins to push up, doesn't come out the hole. It deforms the rock, because rock at a larger scale is stretchy and squishy, right? And so what we see here, this is the blue line when we're talking about at the summit. Here is where, when we see this drop, this is when the eruption begins. This is episode 34. So when the fountain started to go out, right, now pressure is releasing. Why? Because magma is turning the lava, shooting up in the air. And as it does so, the summit collapses. The eruption finishes. The vent sort of seals over, and it has to build pressure, build until it goes boom again. And in fact, it's right at the boom stage right now. Here we can see this is a 3-month view, and we see again multiple episodes are coming. I wouldn't say regularly, but they are we do have, since the last show, we have, 2 episodes, fountains that's completed, and 1 that's just starting. Let me make sure that this is not. I apologize. I have a thing which normally would force me to stop typing every once in a while. But let's look at the GPS meter. So this is a case where we have a GPS meter on a fixed pier, and it measures the vertical altitude. Right. This thing shows you scales of 5 centimeters. Each grade is 5 centimeters. That's 2 inches for those that are metrically challenged. And we see that this. Remember, this set of episodes started on Christmas Eve. So this is where the episodes start, and it's up, down, up, down, up, down. There's these episodes where it shoots out lava, the mountain kind of sags in, it stops, builds up pressure, comes out again. Up,
you
down,
can
up,
go
down.
back
So these
to
are
some of those dates and look for the shows that we had around those times if you're interested.
Yes. And we see over the 5 years, we can see essentially this is the line of episodic eruption where these thick wiggly lines are showing the process. These other ones here are previous just eruptions where it erupted and stopped. We're in this mode where it's been this off-on episodic event, which is, by the way, the great 35 and a half year eruption that started on January 4th, 1983 and finished in August 2018. That had many episodes as well, but that was down the side. This is occurring up in the caldera. Now, if we look at what's happened there, I believe the previous our previous show was what date?
16th or 17th? Oh no, sorry, my
From
bad.
last
I
month?
wasn't there. 20th.
Last month was the 19th, I believe.
19th.
Okay.
Yeah, 20th.
So we had episode 30, and 31 started on the 22nd. So a period of 10 days since the previous one, and then 32 had a period gap is 11 days. Now it's about 17 days. We're at this is up to episode 33. You say, well, wait a minute, you just talked about episode 35. What's happening? Well, since Congress can't behave like adults and give people what is considered by many a fundamental human right of healthcare, government shut down, and the retaliation for shutting down government is these people aren't getting paid. So the people who would normally update this graph aren't. Nevertheless, they have people that are showing stuff there. We look at the fountain heights. We had a 100-meter fountain, 240-meter fountain. We actually had a 300-meter fountain going off. So it's doing pretty well as far as having spectacular eruptions. If you look at the last map, which occurred, this was after episode 2. We again have these vents where the fountains are occurring over here. So it's in this spot, and this is basically the down drop block where the lava pouring off of it fills into this area. You see it's getting closer to going up to this level at the top of the caldera, so we've had, yeah. So we've had the so it's getting a lot over there in that. From a point of view of the elevation of the floor, right, we also see that the floor goes up and down. So this is not due to magma turning into lava on the surface. This is the up and down pressuring of the actual floor due to the fact that the magma, stuff begins to boil, it pushes up against the floor and rises. Now the scale is in each of those grid marks are 5 centimeters, again 2 inches. So we're seeing that the basic is going 5, 10, 15, about say 0.2 meters. The floor is going up and down, and it's doing that a couple times a day. This is a sort of pistoning thing. If this was a typical eruption, we would see these outflows of lava going down, up, down, up, down. but this is the effect on the floor. What do you mean by the floor? We're talking about, measuring in this area here what the height of this thing is. It's being pushed up because
Where
magma
the
is pushing
island
underneath.
was.
Yes. Rest in peace, Gilligan's Island, or rest in rock, I should say. Earthquake-wise, again, we see that most of the earthquakes are. Here's the summit right here. This is where the ongoing eruption is, up in the summit, and so this area here. This stuff here is because there's pressure being pushed on the side of the mountain, right? As this eruption gets heavier, it pushes on the side, and you get pressure. In fact, the direction of the ground is being pushed to the southeast. These dots down here are the magma upwelling from deep within. So if we look at the depths, and we see that we have over here, earthquakes around 30 kilometers deep. That's the conduit from the hotspot coming up, and then this is the stuff happening on the side of the mountain being pushed away. Eventually, this side of this island will give way. There'll be a landslide. You see underneath the ocean, we see all these evidence of past landslides. At some point, this island will break away. Part of it break away the side, and it'll slough into the ocean. That means tsunami of a big.
Which is also a little bit fun because you can actually see the islands, because the islands are a chain, and the reason the islands are a chain is because the volcano is moving basically over millions and millions of years.
Yes, that is right. It is part of that hotspot, Pacific hotspot, moving on there.
It kind of looks like a snail trail.
Yes, a very good point. So here, look at the month of the Holly Mountain floor elevation. This was the episode 33. This is episode 34, and we can see that when the eruption starts, we get a big expansion as the magma boiling underneath pushes to the surface, and then it drops down. So we're about ready to have another one of these events here, but we can see again the two episodes over the month. If we look at earthquakes as well, we see that over the month there's a pile of quakes here, of these blue dots of the deep stuff, and then we see a pile of stuff again. There's pressure on this side of the island is pushing. As to when it will give way, we don't know. At some point it will, but it could be in geologic time as opposed to show time. Here we look at for the last week, we see this relatively few. In fact, the rate of earthquakes this week has been really quiet as opposed to last month. It actually had pretty good stuff. Now, if we look at
this cup is driving me fucking crazy. I'm gonna lose my mind, man. I've spilt
what happened?
Fucking ginger ale out of my mouth like 4 times. I'm losing it.
What are you doing?
Failing at consuming liquid out of this stupid cup.
Why are you trying to consume liquid out of this cup then? Change the cup.
Give Chesh a little bit of break. She's recovering from various accolades given to her. So we need to give her just a little bit of extra time.
Yeah, she hasn't gotten over the graduation ceremony yet.
Yes. So check out her other videos.
You're not wrong. I just hate you.
So here we have for 32. We see this is an example of a pond, right? This occurred on September 17th, and we see that the vent. This is pre-fountain. The vent. The stuff reached the surface. Again, that's active lava. It only gets red when it's moving. And it gets to the point where it bloops over and flows down there and stops. So this example of one of these overflow things occurring between episode 32 and 33. If we look at, this is now on September 24th, we see again, we're looking down in this vent. So here we see the vent going and the various drain things occurring. This was where they had a spectacular fountain, and we can see from there that behind it is this dust, this tephra that is quite extensive in terms of, when the fountain's shooting way up in the air and the lava is cooling, you get this ash blowing backwards.
That highway is gone, right? That highway does not exist anymore. That was there.
Well, it is just undercover. Let's put it that way. We can always pitch a bit farther away, but it is definitely undercover quite a bit. So we can see there's kind of 3 vents now. There's this.
Just
one,
looks
the
like
main
brown winter to me.
Yeah. So here's
February.
landed there in the landing inside to see. We see this sort of outflow that came in. Again, this is where the vent was from episode 33, and it had lava that came out in prodigious rates. And towards the end, when there's not really much backflow and the thing is kind of being pushed along by the momentum behind it, it gets this sort of tearing like flow. It looks like a bunch of embers in a fire, and it begins to the front of it begins to harden, but the back is still liquid and pushes it, and basically it tumbles over and breaks and cracks, and you get these very jagged rocks, not the ropey stuff, but the very jagged rocks.
Those are the kind of rocks that fall and kill your D&D party.
Yes, and they're very bad. They're very bad to fall on because these rocks are very biologically active, right? There's all kinds of minerals, and we're in this very tropical, lush forest where the bacteria goes, oh boy, and has a party, right? So this is a giant.
Those aren't just regular rocks; those are germ rocks.
Yes, and they have all kinds of nooks and crannies to make your sink sponge seem sterile.
Those rocks do poison damage.
Yes.
How much poison damage?
Wash your damn hands.
Oh my god.
Yes, even if no one's
fucking clip
watching.
your nails too. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All
So anyway, so we have the thing. They're going and doing a sampling of stuff to check things out. This area flow here was probably, I think, when they landed. This one.
Yeah, how hot it was.
This area had a erupted flow probably about 3 weeks ago. So the rock is warm. There's certainly liquid stuff underneath, but the rock is frozen, and people are lighter. They're buoyant, so they stay on top. By the way, you talk about road. Yes, if you try to swim in lava, you'll find it doesn't work.
And when you climb out of the lava, if you survive long enough, you're going to be climbing on rocks that are biologically active, and they're trying to kill you and give you the plague.
This reminds me of Venom.
Plague rocks.
Venom. This reminds me of the movie Venom.
So I wanted to show you this particular picture as well, because you asked about
looks like a road there, Landon. There was a road.
There's a bit of road there, and you can see that this is farther back from the area. Now, of course, this is the cliff edge, right, down into the drop-down block, right?
Yeah.
This is to be part of the road that went around it. So there are crumbly bits here that are not recommended to go near. Again, safety is important.
I see someone is there. I see someone there.
Well, they're in a spot, and they approached it from this. Actually, they approach it from this side over here, right? And they're staying into putting some instruments and going back. So here is. I wanted to also show you the larger thing. Again, you see the larger caldera. Where this is. I mean, if you again going and looking at the. If we look at where is the map? The map is there, right?
There's the map.
The map wise. So this is probably about. Remember this down block is about 2.5 kilometers by about 1.5 kilometers in size. So giving you the scale of stuff, whereas we are back to here, right? 2.5 kilometers by 1.5 kilometers in the drop down block. The larger caldera is about 3 by 5 kilometers. So, but it's getting near the point where it will flow into the main caldera. Now, it takes a while before it to get up and over, but again, we're looking forward to the point when the lava is just flowing around in the general caldera, not bothering one, and it looks nice and pretty. But you can tell that this buildup in the south area of the caldera is getting, that lump is getting pretty big. Now this shows you looking to the east. Let me back again. If we find, we're talking about, we're over this area, this thing called Kilauea crater. We're looking at the other side of the caldera, looking east. And the reason why this is the famous site of, this to be a very, very deep pit that filled up during the Great Kilauea eruption in 1959. This was the pile of basically the equivalent of this dome for that vent. This vent had for a long time the world record of the highest lava fountain on the earth. Maanyaa has since beaten that record. But this is sort of, using this as sort of the analog of what this is in the process of building, right? This kind of long, large fountains with dust blowing back. This is the other direction where it had a specular fountain and dust on this side. So what we're looking forward to, again,
I'm kind of curious. Is there a major or a small difference in temperatures in varying volcano locations? Like the lava or the magma itself fluctuates in temperature depending on where it's coming from, like a volcano in Antarctica or Iceland, as opposed to one closer to the equator.
Well, actually, so excellent question. The volcanoes on thinner crust, like in the middle of the ocean, tend to have magma that's lost less heat. The volcanoes that are inside of a thick continent, the heat tends to disperse, and so the result is the lava comes out is at a lower temperature. So the highest temperatures you find of lava comes from a place like Kilauea or Mauna Loa. Again, you see the shape of the actual mountain is this very wide, because the lava that comes out is very hot and flows very generously. The big pointy rocks, the big pointy mountains you might have,
he's doing this right now and we can't see him.
Is the big pointy stuff, and there is where the lava is colder and more pasty, has a lot more sulfur, a lot more explosive stuff, whereas the thinner crust, like in the middle of an ocean, has thinner, is more fluid. So temperatures for thin crust eruptions tend to be much higher than the continental.
Is that related to altitude as well?
Not necessarily.
I imagine like the air temperature outside of the volcano isn't terribly relevant, and it's more of a dispersing because there's closer to the ground, right?
There is so much thermal energy
in
magma that it looks at the air and says, even the ocean, right?
Yeah,
it says,
meh. Nah.
No, whatever. Looking at this thing, we see thermal. This is a thermal camera showing us as episode 33 what it is, and we can see there's hot bits of stuff, particularly this material out here where basically it piles up, and even though it's solid, there's plenty of thermal stuff underneath down there. Of course, here's the vents. It's erupting, and you see that the flows are pretty good, right? But we're working towards having it to be a general caldera. It'll take a little bit more before it spills over the side. At some point, if the volcano behaves in a way that we think it should behave, it'll say, why am I working so hard to push magma up through this tiny hole? I mean, who would push large stuff through a tiny hole? That sounds painful.
What the hell?
I'm not touching that one with a 39-foot pole. You can't make me. There's too many punchlines, and I refuse to make a decision on what punchline to pick.
we are safe for work here.
All right, everyone. What? News to me.
Well, it depends on what work you have. Who's working?
Where are you working? What are you talking about? All right, put your best zinger in the chat, everybody, or in the comment section below. Thank you very much.
Yes. So again,
I'll be grading them later.
That the magma, which is coming from the mantle fast, that goes through very thin crust, like an oceanic crust, tends to be higher temperature, flow faster. That's why the volcanoes like Mauna Loa are this
lower
sort of because it's basically it spreads out. Yes. They also have a larger volume, right? If you have hotter magma, hotter lava, you'll get more of it opposed to the stuff that kind of congeals, like the toothpaste tube that you don't squeeze, where you get the crusty bit on the top, and you have to like break through, and it squirts out all over the place when you don't squeeze it right. There are ways to take toothpaste and not have build crusty bits on the top. I'm just pointing out.
We're gonna get a tutorial later from Landon about how to do your toothpaste right.
But people talk about things like Cass Craig's or Mount Shasta, where it's got this pointy rock bit because the material has cooled down quite a bit, and so you get more of a oozing paste as opposed to a wide flow.
I would like to point out that using liquid to find the path of least resistance is not the worst idea you could use if you're living in lava tunnels in the first place. Not terribly a bad idea. Not as good as fungus. Not as good as the fungus rail system. But lava flow, not a bad choice.
Not a bad choice. So here we see the trail they drive through on the. This is behind the rim. This is the backflow of when those things are doing those large fountains and getting all the embers coming back, and they put in here buckets. Yep, backsplash, and you see buckets here that are basically paint buckets they collect to see how much material it is if they can find them. Because it get really big, they get buried, but it sort of helps them get an idea about the rate their stuff is collecting. And again, the areas here you can see, even farther back there are vegetation that are impacted by all this dust. But they also measuring a lot of field work. So we need to pay our geologists to have them come out and monitor stuff, because this thing, not only for scientific purposes, but also there's a safety, right? Helping the islanders live safely with volcanoes means monitoring the volcano and giving them the choice of what to do based upon the data. And here we can see another picture. This is showing you the backsplash that's in the area here. Again, of building up this tremendous back system here. These slopes here are very unstable, so you tend to stay away from it because we're at the edge of the stuff sliding down, and if you got too near it, you basically create a little avalanche with you in it, which would be a bad thing. So
I muted myself again. So this is ash. What is it?
This is rock. This is basically the rock that is showing up. From here, if we look at the original size, let's go zoom.
And there's like orangey bits in it. Is that oxidation or what?
Yes. Yep. And iron and other compounds being, salts being generated. So behind the vents, so the vents are sitting right here, and depending on which way the wind blows and which way the lava fountain is, it goes one way or the other. But this is the material building up behind it. In a pretty single way. The farther away you get sort of finer dust than up, but just the way it is. Again, you can see how much material is. They still has some. The general pit has more to go, but remember, this used to be the bottom used to be almost to sea level. So it's filled up quite a bit since the beginning of the eruptions in Holy Mountain. Earthquake-wise, not many earthquakes again. This on the last 7 days, there's only 21 earthquakes in this general region. So we're kind of seismically stable, in part because the most pressure has been concentrated right here at the summit, waiting for this eruption to occur. Now I want to show you some pictures taken early this morning, Pacific time, which is even earlier Hawaiian time. So this is like 5 in the morning Hawaiian time. And we can see again the glow from these vents. So we're getting the pistoning and little bits of overflow here. So this was V2 cam. What is in the morning? Here's V1 cam. You can see again there's some pretty good glows that the eruption is starting, and we have these little bits of things. It's harder. The daytime is harder to see, but in nighttime it really shows the set there. V3 cam recorded one of these overflows, right? One of these pistoning events where he had enough to sort of drain and dribble over for a while. So that
almost looks like it's a city.
Yeah, isn't it though? Little suburbs and boulevards.
That'd be a really cool painting or like a fantasy painting, because like I know that there's an offshoot and glow like stuff coming from a distance that's cut off, but it also, if you were to slightly tweak the angle a little bit of the paint, if you were to paint it, you could make it look like that's just a fireball about to come down and just blow up everything that's down there.
And if you were in this area, you'd have a number of problems, right? Not even the fact that this stuff is getting to the start.
You may or may not be running into some issues.
Yes.
So S2 cam a little bit later on
there's a shoe there
this morning.
somewhere.
I hate
took
this
again.
cup.
So I believe the cup is reacting to goblins. I think this is an anti. This is one of those
I actually
those
really
demonic cups that you come across on
I actually really like these cup lids because they don't use straws anymore. It's just this one is giving me problems for reasons. Like, I've been fine every other time, but this one is causing me issues.
Chesh doesn't realize that this basically is a creature that's morphed into a cup shape.
Oh, it's a mimic, and it's just trying to spit in my mouth?
Yes.
Gross. Kinky.
Anyway, so I wanted to show you what it looked like before clicking the thing to see what it's now. So this is what is before. I'm going to reload V2 cam. It'll be daytime, and we see now. Look at that. Look at that. There's a pretty good glow right now. This is a live picture there.
Ooh.
And you see it's got a nice glow
live?
bit. It has some.
Damn.
Yep. Right.
This looks like
So let's look at
Dragonstone from like Game of Thrones.
Oh, very good. Yes. Let's look at. So this was this morning. Let's look at it now. Oh, look at that.
Oh, that is so beautiful.
Huh? It's a little bit zoomed in.
You okay?
Let's do it.
Is you okay?
This mimic is really. She's bound and determined. The DM is trying to give her a hint, and she's bound and determined her character, goblin character, to drink from it anyway.
This
So
poor kid. Oh my god. Oh, God.
she may be great in some ways, but she's a stubborn goblin in others.
I'm not even interrupting. I'm muted.
So I want to point out, by the way, I would look at this thing. You're talking about the pistoning, right? Also notice the fact that this vent has collapsed in. So it had pushed up where this was level, and the drain back, it sucks it back in, right? So this is sort of a breathing thing over a period of minutes where this stuff comes up and down, up and down, up and down. Let's look at V3 cam, right? This was early this morning. Let's look at it now. And there it is. So a little bit harder to see because you could tell there's a little bit of glow here or kind of behind stuff. But you can see this one has had over last night a number of drains. Remember, we saw all those cityscape things. This was all those glowy bits from that sort of like cityscape thing where the glow came from this vent here. And again, we see this the very beginning of this episode 35. It looks like again, it's not the full-blown fountains, but you got to start somewhere. And we look at S2 cam here. Again, we see those glowy bits from the morning. If we go into load live, there it is. Right. So again, a lot of gas coming out from there, but it's definitely is. You see some of the overflow from last night there. So we'll get to the point. It'll get to the point where there's many cameras here, but that's sort of the main cameras we see. Air quality wise, because air quality is always there. Again, the trade winds are blowing to the south-southwest, and the gas from the vent is heading that direction. So if you visit the park, you're in the upwind spot, and it makes it kind of nice. So it's pretty good to there. Pu'o was the place where that 35-year eruption spent most of its time draining. The fact that it keeps coming up here and doesn't go down one of the main rift zones is a mystery, right? It's that, push material up a thin hole or go out the sides. And for some reason, probably because of the way that the down drop block collapsed, its ability to get to the vent tubes has been compromised. But as much as a year ago, it was doing side vent eruptions. So why it's not doing it now is a real mystery, right? But that is there. So we're very grateful for those people that are spending their time while they might have to look for another job because a certain, insert bad word, wants to fire them. And they're continuing to monitor.
Pejorative.
Yeah. So we hope that they're the robustness of the monitoring network. You're welcome. Is why we are able to get this thing going forward. The cause could be if we get a major quake or something failed because it's a very harsh environment. It'll be much harder to repair these things. So we'll see what happens between now and the next month.
Come back, Landon.
So let's go back. Let's go back to the.
Oh God! Oh God! Oh God!
No. So many of us.
Folder there. So speaking of low lamps, we have of course the nice bubbly one on the side doing this thing, binary clocks and other bits there. So original lover and lover light lamps.
Why?
Why what? Why this? Why that?
Why when most walls inside of somebody's house are not black, like that's not a common interior wall color, why are so many fucking electrical plugs black?
Yeah.
Who did this?
Still, it is a thing where I was trying to figure out how to handle this. This was made generically, and then I put the plugs behind it. But it is kind of a. I don't mind having lots of wires. So this down here is part of the artwork, right? This is a electronic sculpture with all kinds of plugs and things down here. My binary clocks, one's a BCD and one's a non-BCD binary clocks because clocks are fun. It creates interesting patterns. It's on UTC time in case you're wondering how to read those things. It's showing you UTC. It's showing you that we're just past 3 or nearly 4 UTC, just past 3. So
I'm gonna write down some of these questions for Rum and Coke night because this is Rum and Coke material.
Yes. So back to say for stuff. Are there any questions in the chat room regarding volcanic stuff? Any? I'm
going back to bed. Ah!
Jesh is done today. She's like...
Letty in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Letty in the chat said,
What?
vote.
What's
Listen, vote. I don't know if this is a real word or if he made it up.
I can read it if you want.
Yeah, you read it. I can't read.
Vociferous, veritas, verily, verify, voluptuous, voluminous, vexation.
Nice.
Very.
I couldn't get the first word.
Yeah, very good
Voila!
use of the words that have the same thing.
The fuck?
Why the fuck?
Of course, there's also the
electrical.
And we can see that we can see also the backwards words, right? So that next one there is a backwards.
Writing backwards is something to annoy others. I did it a lot as a teen. I read that.
See? And as Maanyaa says, and English is not even her primary language, right? I
can talk English, I can walk English, I can sleep English, I can speak English, because English is a very funny language.
Unlike some people, Maanyaa is actually literate.
Don't think I didn't hear you just fucking CH that in your mouth for a second. I heard that. I do my best, alright?
I was thinking about something else that you said. I was going to say, as Chesh said about someone else, but we'll leave that. Okay, so earliest life might have started deep in the ocean volcanism. Well, yes, thermal vents underneath the ocean have, first of all, a lot of nutrients coming out. So even though you might think it's devastating, it actually puts out enormous chemical mix, which life finds to be quite spectacular. And some of these thermal vents down in the ocean are teeming with life around this island, where beyond that thermal vent is sterile, but down there in an abyssal plain, the very deep ocean of this volcanic vent, there are these all these critters that are basically hovering around this source of energy and nutrients.
Earliest life might have started deep in deep sea volcanism. Probably. Yes. There's actually a really good chance that is very likely about the case.
The other possibility
I talk
is also
as if
that
I know anything.
There's also shallow ponds too, right? It doesn't not necessarily deep in the ocean. There's also some shallow
vents,
that are also that can also be there. So I have people want to get to River Bed. I have been at various stages assisting in trying to figure out how to get a probe onto the surface of Europa. That's the dwarf planet orbiting Jupiter. That's ice, and there's actually a mission from European Space Agency to have an orbiter to orbit around Europa for the purpose of using a laser to zap things and figure out chemical composition of the surface, as well as to look at high tides and other details like that, as a precursor to a lander that would then be able to drill it. But they're trying to figure out, does Europa have is it like an eggshell model? It's got a very thin ice crust with liquid underneath, or is it a pile of slurry, slushy stuff, or something else? Landon's name backwards is like some mysterious entity's name.
Yeah, it's it's nodnol or nodnoll.
Yes. And
I read made-up words better than I read real words.
Yeah, Europa Clipper is the correct spot there. In Antarctica, we've been taking probes and having them drill through the ice down into subglacial lakes, because at the bottom of the Antarctic ice block are times a number of lakes, and the temperature of getting through thick ice into the lake and then going around is a
and then releasing
basically a
some
testing
crazy
ground.
disease that turns us all into zombies, a la Hollywood. Jason
well, wait a
said
minute, wait.
life based on chemosynthesis.
Chemosynthesis, yes. So you're talking about the fact that you might have started off with chemical reactions, high temperature chemical reactions around a volcanic vent, and that gave you the precursors that. But speaking of precursors, allegedly someone from Australia, I know Maanyaa, you never know anything about that, is in the chat. Allegedly, but you have to say allegedly because Susan might come back from the grave to do Red Eye's bidding.
Oh my god.
I have brain rot.
Back to so yes, it's right. But seriously,
There's a champion in League of Legends
energy
called Nasus that everybody calls Susan because Nasus backwards is Susan.
Excellent. So certainly that notion of the chemical reactions you can get from high temperature events can give you some really rich chemical systems. Maybe at the actual event it's too difficult, but near that is possible. And again, the Hawaiian volcanoes, well, you see all that devastation around the vent.
Yeah.
In 5 to 10 years, you'll begin to get little plants. And in 50 years, there's all kinds of shrubs, and it'll be just like
life finds a way.
Yes.
There's also nothing to say that life can't form in different places, right? Like the only real rule we have about life that we kind of stick to more consistently is being carbon-based. And so, you can have different reactions around the world at different times and then following relatively the same explosions of varying stuff, just making the same kind of stuff in different spots. Those are the technical terms.
Yes. and as Red Eye pointed out,
simultaneously,
birds pooping is one of the ways that seeds get into these rich nutrient areas, right?
Yep.
And bringing in the cracks where you've got dust piling up, and there's a seed, and the seed says sprouts because there's all kinds of water because it's Hawaii. And the thing sprouts, and it's got to do something, right? So it's like, those things of birds transporting stuff are a major source of beginning to get life into these areas. And so even though some people believe that birds aren't real, there's other people that believe that sandwiches aren't a real food, but that person has problems.
Sandwiches aren't a real food.
Yes, there's a person in England that leads a major party that believes that sandwiches aren't real food.
What? Whoa. So I'm looking at the live feed of the USGS YouTube channel. Yeah,
not playing
has
anymore.
A camera on the Kilauea volcano.
Yep.
It's starting to smoke a bit, but it's like Madam Pele is like, I ain't going till you stop.
Yeah, we're gonna end the stream, and then the volcano's gonna erupt.
And she'll be like.
And if you watch that vent, you'll see periods of time where it'll be quite active to the point where you'll actually see bits of red stuff go bloop bloop bloop, and then it'll come back down, up and down, up and down.
You can actually see something. Yeah, it's going bloop bloop. Yeah, bloop bloop bloop. I can see it, and I'm like, come on, Madam Pele, for once.
So what she's done is she's
with
given
your
us
presence.
because the episode is erupting, right? And not anyone can get to the point where you get the tall pounds. We've had that as well, but this is the beginning of it is. So
what's our predictions? I think all three of us are predicting the exact same thing. As soon as we end the stream, the fucking volcano is gonna erupt.
Madam Pele, go boom.
Yes. Right. So I believe so folks in the chat, can you get your predictions ready? What you think the next month will entail?
Ferns. Ferns are cool.
Ferns are some, and they're some of the early life that gets a foothold.
But I have to show you something.
That begins to break down rock and create soil that more advanced life can live in. So it goes from little critters to slightly bigger critters to even bigger critters.
Bigger critters, and then sometimes smaller critters.
Yes.
Sometimes critters get bigger and then get smaller.
Oh, look at that. Very cute.
We got plants.
She's showing us a little plant thing on there.
Hold on.
Life has a way.
Hold on. Pokemon hide in the tall grass.
It's a little key.
Is it a
I got it.
fern?
It looks like it.
Kind of looks like a fern.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's a fern.
Oh, okay, it is.
It's a little fern.
I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
You're crazy.
You're not crazy. So I got this. I got this for my sink, where I wash my dishes, because I spray so much water. I'm just like, something's gonna benefit.
Yes,
This
I am
is a critter.
I am technically like designated as an official critter.
An honorary varmint?
Ornery varmint.
Unlike Chess, she stays small.
Ornery.
Hello, Maanya's chair.
And now my brain is back on League of Legends and Kled. Ornery varmint.
Oh god. Kled. Oh my god.
Wait a little badgers.
It's been a while since
Go back to.
since I played League of Legends.
Yeah,
It's been
same.
a while.
So folks in the chat, what do you think is going to happen in the next month? Maanyaa, I don't know if you had some thoughts about what people predicted last time.
Oh yeah, what were your predictions last time? I think I was wrong. I predicted that I was wrong.
So what I said was, I only got Landon's. I didn't get answers because I don't think so. There were many predictions in the live chat. So Landon had said episodes of Eruption before the show, and he was right. We got one big show, actually 2 big shows before the Eruption.
Yeah, because I said 2 or 3.
Before the show, sorry.
Yeah. I said
So,
2 or 3
episodes of Eruption before the show. So you were right.
before this show, right? So in fact,
Maddie had
you could
agreed
say,
with Landon.
yeah, I think, and she had a similar thing about the number. And you might say again that that episode 35 has started, although it's not in the full show. We're in the warm up act, right? The main band hasn't come down. Please give the warm up acts, because they're trying some respect and attention.
Jasmine, hey, I found you guys. Oops, this is not the politics show, is it? No, this is not the politics show. This is Madam Pele. Yeah, Madam Pele show.
Volcano tracking. Next Saturday, not tomorrow. Next Saturday is politics and news, if you're interested in that.
Yeah.
Yes. And we have some eruptive things to talk about in there. So
I'm gonna throw a brick.
Any predictions?
My prediction is as soon as we end the stream, the volcano is gonna erupt.
Well, it is erupting right now, technically, but you're talking about
it's gonna like
fountain,
explode.
right?
Yeah, it's gonna like.
Let's do it.
It's gonna start throwing rocks.
It says, well, volcanoes are cool, and they are also pointy fire rocks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Although the Hawaiian shield volcanoes are not pointy, they're very,
Flat.
fairly shallow, flat.
Yeah.
I'm pissed because I'm getting ads for Christmas from Walmart already.
What the hell?
Yeah, I'm pissed.
What's worse, you're in the southern hemisphere where everyone assumes it's winter, and I must say it is unfair to assume that the entire planet is your hemisphere, right? You should understand that there are other people going through as they approach summer. So
it was the second week of October.
Oh my god. Obtuse volcanoes versus acute volcanoes.
I
want to know how to protest this.
Smitty, I like that. Obtuse versus acute, right?
Yes. There's a prediction from Letty. Letty says that the volcano's gonna burble. That is a technical term. Burble. Burble, burble,
Really?
burble, 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 burble.
Letty Lumo? Okay.
So I would also say that and that burbling would be where the episodic stuff doesn't build up much pressure, and you get more just fluid coming out as opposed to tall fountains. But it starts off burbling. The question is, will it only burble or will it fountain?
I say it will fountain.
Yeah, we
That's
spend
my-
Christmas Day at the beach, swimming in shark-infested waters. Skin cancer. Awesome. Yes. Also, don't forget the fact that you've got little tiny jellyfish things that will kill you. So you have to have stinger suits on.
Are they jellyfish things or are they jellyfish?
I don't know if jellyfish is a specific thing.
I don't
Is
know
it
what you
Robert
mean by
Glass?
skin cancer. Seriously, I don't know what you're talking about.
Shut up, melanin lady.
What are you talking about? Cancer? Like,
The melon lord.
melon lord. Whoa.
Melanin lord.
Melon lord.
But I have seen Santa and the reindeer in very nice bathing suit bikinis, dancing at Christmas Day on the beach.
Yeah,
It's quite a
microbox
nice thing.
jellies.
And we have now confirmed in the year of our Lord 2025, as of October, that Landon is a furry.
Well,
Look at him! Look at him! He doesn't know what to do.
If you talk about the amount of hair that I have, right? People
That
who saw
is-
me when it had after the open heart
That is
surgery.
what we're talking about. No. Oh, no.
I'm going with this. I'm going with this interpretation. So you got to live with it.
Okay.
And
Okay.
and as the late Pet Mong used to say, you know, I'm quite furry. I have quite a bit of hair going on there. Now, I'm not the type of furry that dances in front of certain agents in the city of Portland, Oregon. If you want to see real furries, go to Portland, because that's what happens in war-ravaged cities. is furries
Dancing
come out.
inflatable frogs? Oh, yeah. We get to talk about those not this Saturday, next Saturday. Are there any more predictions? So we
Any
can
more
end this
predictions on-
stream
on
before
that?
something bad happens.
For I have, I don't know, Maanyaa, if there's any more there, what do you think? It's gonna
Only
happen next?
Australia tries to kill you at the beach. And Florida. I'm pretty sure Florida tries to kill you at the beach also, just because it's Florida. Nothing to do with the beach or the ocean or the creatures that live there. Well, yes, the creatures that live there, but specifically the humans.
Yeah. Yeah, Australia just tries to kill
They
you,
have
yeah.
inflation
So different
stations?
from New Zealand.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Australia. So
No,
different from New Zealand.
I mentioned,
New
by the
Zealand is
way.
like- Go on.
Go ahead.
I was just saying New Zealand is like the cute, what do you say? The cute newborn kiddo who's just like, here, look at me, I'm so nice, you know. And then comes Australia and they're like, yeah, mate, what's up?
What up?
So a trailer with
Bitches.
a generator and a air pump that you use to like inflate a bouncy castle can be used to inflate things to give people their inflatable costumes too. Because if you're in a war-ravaged, burning city, that's what you do. You dress up with inflatable things or furry things, or both.
Wacky inflatable tube dudes.
Yes.
Florida is like a Dark Souls swamp, but in reality. The Scarlet Rot.
So predictions.
Fun
This is-
fact,
this is-
inflatable suits are really good at slowing rubber bullets.
Landon, what's your prediction? Sorry.
So I predict that we will have 2 or 3 more episodic events, where the just after the show we'll get some level of fountaining, right? So that would be like thing 1, and the question is, will there be enough for there? I suspect, again, it'll be close there. I also predict that the fountains will not be as vigorous as they were, because we had a really tall episode 34 fountain there. There's probably, again, there'll be fountains, but they'll probably be, instead of the 300 plus meters, they'll probably be in the 100, 200 meter stuff. Because sometimes the eruption basically opens up the vent, and the next episode it kind of flows out rather than squirts, and then that takes the inside of the hole, and then one beyond it goes up. So I think we're going to probably have 2 that have moderate sized vents. So in terms of time-wise, we got 3 this time, 2 to 3 next time.
Probably. Before we move further, I'll agree with Red Eye. Actually, Kiwis are bailing over here. Wages in New Zealand are terrible. I will agree with that. The amount I was getting paid at my previous job as compared to what I'm getting paid now, fuck, it's more than double if I'm not wrong. So yeah, I agree with Red Eye on that.
Don't call me out like that, sweetie.
I'm trying to give her a material, right? This is part
Stop!
of the,
Cease! Desist!
Cease and desist. Oh my
Halt
God.
in the name of the law! Stop
being
right
said,
there, criminal scum!
I agree with friendly Geordies that if the Kiwis want to come over and immigrate to Australia, as part of the condition, they have to admit who was the true inventor of pavlova.
What's the what?
Right? Because there are some people that think that their country invented it when in fact it came from another country. But that's one of the things that I think they have to, as part of the qualification and stuff, to come in to it, is you gotta admit who was the real inventor of the true pavlova.
Beat me to the Oblivion Guard joke, yeah.
So, Maanyaa, Chesh, what's your predictions?
The volcano's gonna erupt bigly as soon as we end the stream.
Bigly. So is it more than just a fountain? Will it just like break open?
Yeah, it's gonna like shoot
really
rocks and like it's gonna fountain, but the fountain's gonna be high energy and there's gonna be rocks flying around. Bigly.
Okay. So
okay.
As soon as we turn the stream off, within an hour of ending the stream.
So I am saying we will
Are you
get
talking about liquid rocks or solid
fountains.
rocks being?
Yes, both. All the above.
Okay.
Paper mache rocks. Kidney stones.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck? I'm saying we will get fountains, and I'm gonna go opposite Landon because Madam Pele can be really unpredictable. So I'm gonna say that we'll get higher fountains than last time. So
Madam Pele watches this stream.
What about the number? How many episodes do you think we'll have in the next month?
1.
Okay, 1.
7.
So, and that's is that and just to be clarified, that's not including the one that's happening now.
Right.
That there'll be another episode.
I will say that I'll just go with that 1 episode that's gonna happen. That's it.
Okay, and understand. I'm saying the one that's happening now is 1.
Yeah.
And there will be a second one as well, and that we'll be the next show will be near an episode, but won't really be starting like it is now. So that's why I was thinking 2 with the starting.
Yeah. I'm saying this one will end up turning into a episode with higher fountains than last time.
The rocks are going to come from space, and they're going to come from the volcano. The volcano is going to be shooting upwards, and the meteors are going to be coming down, and they're going to be crashing into each other. And
oh my god.
Yes, and so the point, I guess, Tesha, you're talking about the going bigly, would be here's a potential scenario, right?
I'm like Hassan Piker, but instead of having a electrocute button for my dog just off screen, I have I press this button and the volcano erupts.
So here's how your scenario could come about. This current eruption, which is going to sends out all kinds of material, and it ends up sealing the vent.
Yeah.
Right? It congeals and seals the event.
Yeah.
And now, because it's so tall between the bottom of the magma chamber, working through all that rock, to the top, the events no longer reach the surface, and instead we get a quiet period where it just the mountain continues to inflate, but nothing comes out, and it gets inflates. But the problem is when it inflates, it stretches, and at some point something cracks and it goes whoosh throughout there, and you get a big.
It's gonna pop its top like it's a Pringle can.
So
tell Trump there's gold in the volcano, so he bombs it. There's gold in them hills.
Oh my god.
All right, let's get the. Is that everybody's predictions? Are we good?
Yeah.
I will say this was Red Eye that the that the best pavlovas I've had were in the ACT.
I'm losing it. I can't keep it together. I am covered in ginger ale.
Oh god, gosh. Oh,
The
my
goblin
poor
has
Bobo.
it's a process of mastering drinking from a cup, right?
The goblin
I need a
has
sippy
found,
top.
Yeah, the goblin has found another nemesis after the corkscrewer. It's the ginger ale cup.
If this didn't have ice in it, I'd have thrown it across the room.
Yes. Yes. You definitely should have as a prop one of your sippy cup with a goblin on it. That would
Oh
be,
my god, like just a goblin with a goblin face on it with sippy cup. That'd be fun.
Or when you're doing your Star Trek episode stuff, you need a Star Trekkie. I'm sure you can find a Star Trek themed sippy cup for a kid. That's a
Low Energy Vid says I need a bib.
Oh my god.
This is gonna get weird.
Bring forth the bib. Oh my god. Guys.
There's a laptop in the
Shutting
middle of
that-
a volcano with the Epstein files
I'm
uploading.
shutting that down now. Alright, enough. You do not talk about the
Okay.
bib, alright? Back off. Back off.
Thank you very much. But do check out their channels for stuff. I know that
Don't
Maanyaa does some
make it
interesting stuff
so
on
weird.
there.
Maanya's been
No,
doing
I-
stuff on my
Stuff.
channel recently.
Yeah, I might do
Yeah.
some more. I spent like 2 streams, 4-hour streams demolishing Steve and his fucking rhetoric on his non secular show channel, and he hasn't streamed since then. So I'm just like, I'll take credit for that. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So yeah, that's check out that stuff if you're interested in that sort of thing here. Thank you very much for coming by. We'll see next month in terms of how much information we can get out of the system with these people who are not being paid but doing it because they also they're the kind of thing where they would do it anyway. Just don't tell them that don't tell the people to pay them. They do it anyway because they do need to actually earn a living.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. Like, share, subscribe. We'll be back next Saturday with the Newsy Types and Stuff show, where we'll probably talk about some of the funding issues going on with this, just because I think it'd be a good place to talk about it.
We might even mention the volcano.
We might even mention the volcano. Keep an eye out, because it looks like I'll be doing a rum and coke here sometime soon-ish, and we'll see.
Yay!
Yeah, we need a rum and coke. We need a rum and coke. Today
Thank you so much.
Was the indicator, yes. Alright, cheers everyone.
See you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Making it Maanyaa because I think it'd be funny, because she won't notice right away.
What? What did he do? Oh my god, why did he put me there? Alright.